Hi guys, it's Rachel and I'm here with the Caribbean Edit. Today we are chatting with Grenadian-born artist Sabrina Francis about her 7th edition of her Wide Open concert series. Welcome to the Caribbean Edit. I look forward to hearing about your artistry,
Yes.
Wide Open, and your journey thus far.
Okay, let's go.
So just to get to know you a little bit more,
Yeah.
who are your top 3 artists in your playlist?
Right now, I would say it's Aurora. I don't know if you know her. She's like a Norwegian singer. You know her?
Yes.
That's cool. Nobody ever knows her
know
when I
one
say that.
song.
Aurora, Buju Banton, and Simi. Simi from Nigeria.
Okay. If you could perform with any artist, dead or alive, who would it be? Or who would you choose to perform on a stage?
Buju Banton.
Why?
He's had a really big impact in my earlier childhood. I grew up in the countryside in Grenada, and me and my sisters would sing and harmonize all the time. And his music was one of the songs like Destiny, Hills and Valley, all of these songs I grew up singing. And I always loved his artistry. So,
Okay. He is a legend.
He is a
That's for
legend.
sure. And how has growing up in Grenada or in the Caribbean influenced your performance style?
My performance style. That's interesting. I feel like it's definitely inspired my music. I do a fusion of Afro-Caribbean pop. My mom used to come to our school and teach us old folk songs and old folks dances, and so I have a fusion of that in my songs. How it affects my performance, I try to remain grounded as much as possible. I try to remember my purpose behind doing it, which is my family. That's my biggest motivation in my life. So yeah, I feel like my history growing up in Grenada influences my music in that way, and my performance style, I suppose, it keeps me level-headed somehow.
Okay. And do you have any pre-performance rituals? Maybe things that you do or something you carry with you before you
I don't
go
have
on
any
stage?
weird, well, I don't think it's weird. I feel like it's very important to me to love energy. I consider myself like a introvert, and so it takes a lot of energy from me when I leave my house to interact and engage, even though it's a positive thing. But I need as much energy as possible to share when I'm on stage. So the day that I have a performance, I try to stay indoors. I listen to the sound of rain. That might be a little weird one. I listen to the sound of rain because I find it very calming, and I stay away from music as well.
Okay.
Because
interesting.
other music influences how I feel.
Right.
And so I just try to just listen to rain, sleep as much as possible, stay hydrated, stay indoors, preserve my energy so that I just have everything to give when the time comes on stage.
Okay.
Yeah.
I understand that. Preserve, isolate.
Yes.
And what's the most unusual or maybe surprising place or thing that you've pulled inspiration from for a song?
The thing is, the way inspiration works for me is that it comes from everywhere already. So I don't have common places for inspiration. At least I never paid attention to exactly where inspiration comes from. So if I have a weird inspiration, I don't see it as weird because it comes from everywhere, and it could come from anything. This moment here could inspire a song, at some point. So I don't know if I have any weird places that it comes from. I just live in life, walking through life, and something might happen and it inspires me.
Okay. You can't pinpoint it,
No.
but the inspiration is
It's
the world
everywhere.
around
It's
you,
the world, and it's the
basically.
life I live and the lessons I learn.
Okay. So what message or feeling do you want to convey to the audience during the Wide Open concert?
Wide Open?
Yeah.
It's a couple of things. The whole purpose of choosing Grenadian acts and the acts that I chose is to show that we could do something together as
Right.
Grenadian artists. So togetherness is my overarching theme. It's the reason that I released this song with Jefferson Dash and Mr. Killer leading up to it, called Taking Over, because I just feel like we could have a soft superpower in music, in Grenadian music, and we're all very, very different artists, but we could all represent in a positive way still. That's what I want people to take away. And I want people to find pride in that, and I want people to support that. There's room at the table for all categories of music in Grenada. That's what I want you to take away from that.
I agree. And seeing that you're different artists, different genres. How was the experience collaborating? And
I feel like just because all of the artists they know themselves as artists so well, it was I would say effortless, especially on their side. I came up with the concept. I gave the producer the inspiration. He worked on the music. I wrote the chorus, worked my verse, and then the only direction I gave to them was the overarching theme is togetherness. I want us to pay homage to everybody that came before us and celebrate what we are about to do in the creative space in Grenada and how we are about to represent and take over. And they all came. And within an hour or two, they all had their parts done, recorded, and good to go. And you could hear that everybody fit in well, meshed together well, but still sound like themselves.
okay, still they had their individuality.
Because
and,
their artistry is already so strong.
okay,
And
so it was
yeah.
fine. All right. And can you share a moment in your career where you felt very much connected to your audience? Maybe during a live performance
Yeah.
or recording.
When I did tours in the UK, Europe, I had a lot of moments like that, especially earlier on in my career where sometimes I felt like I wasn't being seen or understood or appreciated in Grenada. That's a very long time ago. It's not the same now at all. So when I traveled for those first couple of years and I got a different type of response from the audience. I felt connected. But the question you asked brings up one specific show that I had in Spain. We put on a show and only one person showed up to the performance. And his name was Francis. Okay. And he took a stool from the bar and he put it right in front of the stage. And I sang for 2 hours.
Wow.
For Francis. We took a break in between. He clapped, he was just so immersed in my performance, and I put on a whole show just for this one man named Francis. That's what that question brings up and I remember this all these years later, and I don't think that's a moment I would ever forget, and it's still one of my most memorable and heartfelt performances ever.
Well, big up Francis.
Big up Francis. And my name is Francis, so I just feel like it was serendipity.
It was meant to be. It was lovely interviewing you, getting to know you as an artist, and we look forward to the Wide Open concert.
It was April 19th, Sabrina Francis, Dash Jefferson, and Mr. Killer taking over.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.